I rock Kentucky blue on these hoes. Drafted, I'm getting chewed by these hoes. Usually they just leave when we done. I don't want share no room with these hoes. Metro gon' make it boom on these hoes. And me, I just stick and move on these hoes.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks. Thank you for listening to the show.
I rock Kentucky blue.
Here in the studio, I have Jory Knesser and Josh Bryant. Guys, welcome to the show to do another show. This is our draft show, 2017 NBA Draft Night. We're here to do a show. How y'all doing?
Wonderful. Yourself?
Oh, great, man. Thanks for asking.
It's been a great night, man.
It has been. We all got to hang out. Went to Chili's. You didn't see that coming, did you?
No. Well, I was expecting roosters, maybe some wings.
Did you like Chili's?
Beer too. They had Miller Lite on tap. That's all I asked for.
They had the nice setup.
We had some food.
They had a nice setup. 4 TVs there, big screen TVs.
I went to Gaddy Town before and had pizza, so
You didn't
y'all
really
had your
eat
food.
it.
I went to Gaddy Town.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad setup.
Jordan had a buffet.
Yeah.
and bumper cars.
I mean, Jordan won. Unfortunately, even though he didn't get to see the first couple picks, he won the.
I only missed the first and second pick. I'm pretty sure the first 3 picks were almost secured.
Well, we got to the NBA draft. It started at 7:30. Josh said it started at 7, so we had to wait and watch the pre-show.
I like to
which
just
sucked.
have everyone together on time.
That is so boring to watch the pre-show.
Draft did start at 7, but draft usually doesn't open for like 30 to 45 minutes.
Well, Markel Fultz. It's crazy though how this whole thing started though. Boston Celtics was supposed to get the first draft pick. They traded with the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Philadelphia 76ers pretty much announced that they were going to take Markel Fultz before the draft even started. They did. They took him. He came from Washington. There's not much to say about him. I don't know what he has done, really. He never took Washington to the next – he never took him postseason.
To the tournament.
He never took him to the tournament.
He never took him to the NIT.
Never took him to the NIT, no.
My thing with Markel Fultz, man,
And he's number 1 draft pick.
But he averaged 24 a game.
The only thing we got to look at Markel Fultz.
You said you like champions.
You get a lot of young
You're
players
right.
and stuff, but you get Markel Fultz, didn't lead his team anywhere postseasons wise. He's a young kid. The good thing is he's going to a young team, but a young player like that has no prior history at any kind of collegiate level or pro level of leading a team to any kind of postseason advance is, I don't know about his leadership.
That's a great
So
one.
that's scary about a kid like that is number one.
We have 64 teams that make the NCAA tournament. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think
Stephen Curry took Davidson to the tournament, and not only that, they won multiple rounds.
Yeah, but you also got to look at it in the way as you do have 64 teams in the field, but you also have so many teams that win bids by winning the conference championships. I mean, like you're actually like your top 25 field of teams at the end of the season. Not all top 25 teams are guaranteed a spot in the NCAA tournament because of all the extra spots that have fill spots because of winning tournament, league tournaments and stuff like that.
Okay, so my next point, though, was I was going to build off on that is you didn't make the top 64. Wait, but you didn't make the NIT. How many is in the NIT?
Yeah,
And
half that.
Half that, yeah.
So
half
you
that.
didn't make the top 100 almost, though.
Well, I mean, it's crazy that he was the number 1 pick. I mean, it's bizarre. I don't think he's going to ever go down as the greatest number 1 draft pick of all time.
Let's move on to the next pick.
Which would be, who do you
Almost.
think? The number 1 draft pick of all time.
Okay.
Number 1 draft pick of
I
all
like
time.
that idea.
Of my lifetime,
No, of all time. I want of all time.
man, I can't go of all time because I can't.
So far.
I can't sit back and say, this person, that person. I mean,
You need a list.
I'll tell you mine. It's LeBron. LeBron's the number 1 draft pick.
honestly, in our lifetime, LeBron has probably been the most solid number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Just most guaranteed coming into it. Guaranteed draft day. But then you also had, Anthony Davis, consensus number 1. As soon as the season ended, there was no question. Davis was going number 1 no matter who owned that draft pick. He was going to go number 1 no matter what.
Yeah.
And you don't see too many players like that. And like this year's draft, I don't think you have a full-on LeBron James, Anthony Davis type superstar in this draft class. I think you have a deeper draft class than we've seen in several years, just through talent. But I don't think you have a full-on superstar. And if it does become one, I think it's going to be Josh Jackson from Kansas is going to be the superstar. But he's a troubled kid. He was nothing but trouble for Kansas in his first year. He was in trouble with the law the entire year for multiple things. I know he had a rape on him, and he burglarized a car and just stuff like that. But I think he's the best talent in the draft. but you can't tell where he's going to go.
I'm going to go for my number one pick overall of all time, at least that I can think of far back enough. That's Shaquille O'Neal.
Mm-hmm.
4 championships, one more than LeBron, and he's only lost one time in the finals.
Shaq would be my number 2 as far as like the best. I love Shaq. I'm a Shaq fan.
I know
I'm a
you are.
Shaq fan.
Yeah, I
You
love
can't,
Shaq.
how can you not be a Shaq fan?
Yeah.
The guy is pure comedy. Charles Barkley is a little bit of a snob at times, and he makes fun of him on live TV. It's great to watch. I mean, he does.
He's great. So the number 2 pick was it belonged to the Los Angeles Lakers, and Josh, you and I are big LA Laker fans, and it went to the person everybody knew it would go to.
Who'd they draft again? LeVar Ball? Did they draft his son or did they draft the dad? I couldn't tell.
Well, you know what? They're built for Hollywood, and let's bring it on, baby. I'm all about the Triple B now, you know?
Big baller brand.
I'm part of the brand.
Embrace it.
Let's get a shirt.
Embrace it. Let's do it. Let's get
do
a
it.
hat.
Let's get matching shirts.
Shorts. Let's
Why don't you get the $700 shoes that he can't sell?
Nah, that's different,
I'll
Jordan.
pass on those.
Those look like Kobe's. I already have a pair. Anyway.
That's ridiculous, man.
So we knew the first pick, and we pretty much knew the second pick. LeVar Ball's been talking a lot, and he's good at predictions, I guess. We'll see what this kid's got. His numbers look good. His dad talks a lot.
I like Lonzo because he can shoot the ball from way past NBA range. Have you seen his shot? How long
I have,
his shot
but-
is?
He's got a little bit of a different shot,
That's
too.
the thing. It's a very different
hits
shot. He almost like swings it around, goes down to his waist, and then pops it back up.
And when you bring it down to your waist, there's more room for error. You got to come all the way back up. Now, with that being said, they did a sports science. His release is almost as quick as Klay Thompson's.
See, that's the thing. He does have a quick release, and that's what Jalen Rose talked about that earlier today on ESPN.
Very
Just
intelligent.
talking about, yes, he does bring it down and stuff like that. The only thing he's got to worry about that is the ball getting swatted away. But, I mean, he did fine in college.
Mm-hmm.
He can pull up from just about any range. His shot's not guaranteed like a Malik Monk or, a Ray Allen or Reggie Miller or something like a Devin Booker. He's not a pure shooter. But the good thing...
He's a Jamal Murray. He's a Jamal Murray.
I like,
Better.
I don't know if his shot's that good, but I like
He's
Lonzo. I do like Lonzo. I hate the trouble that his dad's brought for him, and the only thing that's going to hurt the Lakers with Lonzo and NBA players like John Wall and stuff like that have already pretty much came out and said that we're out for his head next year just because his dad runs his mouth so much saying he's going to be so much
I think
better.
it's going to bring some trouble for LA. I think it's going to be, but it's going to keep them in the spotlight. LA is in.
We need
think
a little
about it.
spotlight.
They're in Los Angeles. It's the land. It's where Hollywood's located. They're all about
It's been
production,
a couple boring
putting on a
seasons.
show. I mean, Kobe's gone. They need somebody new.
Magic's
Lonzo,
back. We got
Magic's
some little
back.
Showtime back.
There's some swag
And
in
there's a
LA.
little bit of rumors with Paul George. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Well,
But let's talk about the next pick.
that could happen. What I want to do is I want to skip through here until we get to a first Kentucky pick.
You wanna talk about the
number
first three?
three
Okay, that's fine.
was Jason Tatum from
Number
Duke.
3 pick, I think number 3 pick was honestly the most interesting. I think
I thought it was
was.
going to be Josh Jackson.
That's who Boston wanted. They traded the number 1 pick because they knew that they could
He'd
get
still be
him
available.
They knew they could get him at number 3.
so
Tatum is he was such a good college player. He was the number 2 player coming out of high school into Duke.
Duke beats us.
He's a very intelligent kid with a smart mind. He's not cocky. He's a very laid back ball player, and that's a Brad Stevens type player in Boston. He'll fit in perfect. He's going to be starting his first year. I guarantee that. Because who does he have in his way? What do they have? DeMarre Carroll or
Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. And I'd
But
say
Jaylen Brown didn't get much starting time last year. Not to say he didn't not have as much potential, or this guy could have more.
Josh Jackson went to the Phoenix Suns. He's from Kansas.
Real quick before we keep moving on to the number 5 pick, I want to just briefly mention that with the Boston trade, that now Boston has like 7 to 9 picks in the first round guaranteed the next 3 years.
Boston set up.
And most of those are lottery picks, folks.
And the first pick for Kentucky goes to the number 5 pick, Sacramento Kings. Jesus, De'Aaron Fox. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan now. I love
Gosh,
De'Aaron
let's get a
Fox.
shirt. Let's get a T-shirt.
He's one of the best. He is one of. That's 2 T-shirts for you.
Well, you gotta get a
Big baller
Kings
brand
T-shirt
and
because
De'Aaron
we got
Fox.
Willie Cauley
Pick a
and
team.
Scal on the team.
De'Aaron Fox. He is the best point guard of the draft. I think he should have went number 1 overall. I think he was amazing.
I
he
think
was amazing.
Fox is going to end up being the most guaranteed for professional worth in general.
Very
He's like,
agreeable.
in my opinion, he is a mix between John Wall and Rajon Rondo. That's 2 Kentucky players right there to compare him to. In my opinion, he has
The passing skills of Rondo and the speed of Wall.
I wouldn't say he has the full-on passing skills of Rondo.
In between a mix of both.
But he has a speed of Wall. his jumper's still a little off, which his jumper, the form and everything looks good. He's
Wall's
gonna
starting to get his jumper now.
He's gonna gain the jumper.
He'll get it quicker.
He won't be John Wall. He's not going to be to the potential of John Wall, but he's going to be a damn good NBA point guard.
He is going to be great. He could be a franchise player too.
He's
got the personality. He's got like an engaging personality where he could really build like a team around him. I mean, I think Sacramento could be that team. I mean, he's living in California. He seems like he has that personality to last in California.
He's from out west. He's from Texas. So he's from Houston, I believe.
He'll fit in well. Yeah, I think he will. Jonathan Isaac from Florida State. I think that's good for Florida State. Get them on the board. They don't draft many players in the first round, especially in the top 10. So
Jonathan Isaac is very young and raw. He's
cough in the mic. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, cough in it.
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac. He's like 6'11", 6'10", 6'11". He's tall, lanky. He's not a good shooter. I mean, he's a good shooter, but he's not your Kevin Durant. And then yet again, he's not your ball handler that like Antetokounmpo is, but he has potential out the roof. Jonathan Isaacs could have been a top 2 or 3 pick in my opinion. He was fun to watch at Florida State. They had a fun team to watch this year. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table in the pros.
This next one's fun to talk about, Jordan. The best white boy in the draft. He is from Arizona. He's the best big man in the draft. It was Lauri Markkanen.
I can't 100% say his last name. I watched him at Arizona.
But you agree with me, right?
I agree with you 100%. Watching Arizona,
that's 100%
first
agree.
foreign player?
No, he went to Arizona.
Okay.
He's foreign born, I believe.
Not from a foreign.
But he played college ball at Arizona, so we get to see a lot more of him last year. You know, especially they went further in the tournament. We get to see a lot of him last year. He has a great outside shot. He's all around. He's a very laid back. You know, just a ball player. He's good on the defensive end. He's good down low. He can be a back to the basket hook shot player, and then you can throw it out to him. He can be kick out, hit threes.
Who picked him?
He's going to be a lot more of a Kristaps Porzingis, in my opinion.
The Chicago Bulls. And speaking of the Bulls,
yeah. So the Bulls didn't pick him. Minnesota picked him, right? Or no, the Bulls did pick him, and Minnesota
traded for Jimmy Butler.
So they traded the 7th pick, and they traded who else? They traded Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn. They gave up a lot for this guy.
But they also got the Bulls pick, Jimmy Butler, and the 27th pick.
Or was it the 16th pick? Maybe. I think it was a higher pick. We'll get to that maybe review. But what a great trade for Minnesota. You now have a starting lineup of Ricky Rubio, Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, Dieng start at the 4,
and then you got Karl Towns.
That team makes playoffs. That team makes top 5 in the Western Conference.
Man, and then we got our first foreign player drafted next, and he went to the New York Knicks.
Foreign.
Frank Ntilikina. Frank N from France. He's a point guard.
Frank N, I like
that. Frank N. And
let's just keep it short.
So yeah, the first foreign player, man.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Has it like the last 3-4 years that a foreign player's gone in the top 5?
Yeah.
We had Porzingis last year.
Yeah.
Greek Freak probably went top 5 when he went.
There's a lot of good players. They take the best player in that country and they put him over into the NBA.
Moutier went top 5.
Foreign players are good. I mean, there's another one in the top 10 that was huge.
I mean, a lot of these countries and stuff where basketball's a lot bigger, you can justify drafting them earlier and stuff. And then, not all of them have worked out, but for, this guy with the Knicks reputation in the past couple of years, taking Porzingis and stuff, I don't know anything about the kid, but I mean, I hope he has enough potential. I would like to see New York put themselves back on the board. I'm getting tired of listening. I listen to a lot of ESPN radio, and I'm getting tired of hearing Phil Jackson, Carmelo Anthony, and now it's Kristaps Porzingis in it too. And it's just like they're just the laughingstock of the NBA, and they're such a storied franchise that are just the laughingstock of the NBA right now.
So who was number 9? Dennis Smith. Okay, so this guy is my most underestimated player of the draft. I think he's either going to be great, like Vince Carter, or he's going to be a complete bust, like who was I saying at dinner tonight? I was saying.
Why do you feel that?
Terrence Ross.
Why?
Because he has such athleticism. It's out the building. So if he could just learn to shoot a little bit, this guy can be great. He's going to be possibly in the dunk contest in a couple seasons. He's the next Zach LaVine if he could just learn to shoot.
Well, if we're going to go underestimated and talk about underestimated players in the draft, I'm going to come through and saying that Malik Monk falling to number 11.
Okay.
I honestly think Malik Monk
a good choice.
should have been a top 5 pick in the draft. He can hit from deep. He hits consistently. His shot's beautiful. He can jump out of the gym. Watching like yesterday, I was just kind of pre-draft working myself up, looking back at some of these players, watching their high school, college highlights and stuff like that. Anthony Davis, Malik Monk, Karl Towns. Just sitting back and just really looking at it and seeing just how good they really were then compared to where they are now. Malik Monk's an absolute athletic freak. And he was also shadowed on by several people at Kentucky. He didn't want to do everything. But then again, he also came out like against North Carolina in the game to go to the Final Four. Malik Monk, he did bad all game, and last second he just went clutch. Hitting threes, brought us back to a tie ball game.
Your most underestimated players who?
Malik Monk.
Malik Monk. Well, that's interesting because my most underrated player is definitely De'Aaron Fox because I think that De'Aaron
should have went number 1.
Should have
I
been
remember you saying that.
the number 1 draft pick in this year's draft. Because listen, De'Aaron Fox, he's a 6-foot 3-point guard. He's a big point guard. He can drive. He can shoot. He's athletic as hell. I love De'Aaron Fox. And like I said, he's just a guy that has a personality that could lead your team, make your team some money, a good ambassador for your city. De'Aaron Fox is underestimated. He dropped all the way down to 5th. What a steal by Sacramento.
So that was honestly one of the bigger steals in the draft, yes.
It was.
Just because,
like,
as you say, De'Aaron Fox is not a troublemaker. He's a very good kid that's willing to learn. He's been in touch with John Wall. His game reflects of John Wall's game a lot in so many ways, and John Wall's still working and helping him. But I honestly think, I just hope that with going to Sacramento with the weapons around him, he can do something with it because he honestly doesn't have that many weapons around him. He has Buddy Hield, who has still not proven himself in the NBA. He has Scalabissiere, who has potential out the roof, maybe. I don't know. At this point, he might have potential out the roof. He has Willie Cauley-Stein.
Are both toss-ups.
And just, he's kind of,
He's got a lot of toss-ups on the team. You got Scals, a toss-up. Ben McLemore still is a little bit of a sleeper, but his time's almost gone. You trade him.
Rudy Gay's getting older.
Tyreek Evans just came back after injury.
And
Rudy Gay just tore his ACL, actually.
Yeah, let's see. We got Zach Collins was number 10 from Gonzaga. Mm-hmm. And then number 11, Charlotte picked Malik Monk. Jordan mentioned playing for Michael Jordan now. That's awesome. Detroit picked Luke Kennard, my boy from Duke.
Another Duke player. Second Duke player.
Charlotte with Monk's going to have... Did they lose Cody Zeller to that trade with Dwight Howard?
They lost.
I don't know, but number 14 comes Kentucky's third lottery player, Bam Adebayo. I'm surprised that he went 14.
Hey, I called that at the bar.
You said he'd be top 15, and he was.
Well, I called him to Miami, just saying.
He did.
With their lack at power forward, putting him as a big body, just a bully inside, and then putting Whiteside right behind him, they're going to tear it up. I think that's the best fit that Bam could have got in this draft.
Cal does it again, guys.
Another DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis backcourt.
Cal does it again. 3 players in the lottery.
How many times does that make now? So
that's the third. That's the third one at least, because I know John Wall,
you mentioned
DeMarcus Cousins, and Bledsoe. All 3 went in the lottery, and then you had
Kid Gilchrist probably won.
Well, you had Kid Gilchrist and Davis 1 and 2 that year. And then also that year with Towns, you had Booker Towns, Lyles, and
Willie Cauley.
There was the Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, wow, he's breaking every year. And 3, the 3 that went in the first round was lottery picks. Mm-hmm. That's huge. And there's still some players left. The draft's not over. The draft is live now. There's still who's left?
We're on
Isaiah Briscoe.
And we
did he enter the draft?
Players left. From what we know,
right now we have Briscoe and Isaac Humphries left. And
is Willis in the draft?
Willis is not in the draft. He's worked out for teams, kind of like Dominique Hawkins have both worked out for teams. But I don't think in the draft you're going to see Briscoe go. I think the better UK player that has a shot of going just because of pure potential and only being 19 years old is Isaac Humphries.
Yeah, well,
I think you're going to see Isaac Humphries go around probably 48. I think he'll go in around in 48 range.
Do you think he's going to do any good?
I think Isaac Humphries could honestly do something in the NBA. He has
More potential
outside
than Josh
jumper.
Harrelson.
I don't know
More
why,
potential.
because like he did not perform with
He
UK.
didn't get much minutes.
He has to be
Come
able
on.
to. He moves with the ball very goofy like.
I don't know how those skills would be transferable over to the NBA. Like, I think he would get crushed. I was surprised when people were like, "Oh, Isaac Humphries is going to the NBA." I'm like, man, like
He crushed his workout apparently. 22 teams saw him live.
And I
They
was
say he
right
crushed it.
there. I was right there with you.
he had a good workout, but I don't know how he would do on a team. I don't know.
And going to Briscoe, the other player that is in the draft,
Don't stand a
but
chance.
honestly, the best thing for Briscoe would be not to get drafted.
Yeah.
Sign with Cleveland
Yes.
if they'll take you and play with your cousin Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
That's a defensive stopper for them. Somebody that can get to the rim, get the big guys. Tristan Thompson, for say, who's one of the best, if not the best, offensive rebounder in the NBA. Get the ball in there. If you miss it, you have a cleanup man. And Briscoe can get the ball in. He has the size and he has the motor to get to the rim. He has a terrible jump shot. His free throws are terrible. I mean, he's never going to be a top 8 man in the NBA. He's just not.
Right.
But he will be one hell of a solid role player.
Yes.
And then I just think Cleveland's the best spot for him. I think when you put family next together, they play better together.
Absolutely. I mean that's a great analysis there. Moving on there, Minnesota number 16 got Justin Patton from Creighton. Don't know much about that guy. Milwaukee picked DJ Wilson from Michigan. Indiana Pacers picked TJ Lee from UCLA.
Next Kevin Love, I'm calling it right now. His defense and his physical attributes down low lack right now. He'll gain it. He's outside. He's a 4-stretch player. He's a very good 4-stretch player. He has one hell of an outside jump shot. He can score from anywhere. He was one of the better offensive scoring players in college basketball in the NCAA last year. And I think his game will transition into the NBA. He's on the Bulls, one of the best defensive head coaches in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see his defense and his weight go up, and his rebounding. I think he'll be a solid double guy, kind of like a Kevin Love.
Absolutely. Well, for a full draft results, just go. I've got this from the Washington Post because there's more that's still not been drafted yet. That's still going on. But before we close, I want to talk about who do you think got the best player tonight? Now, before you answer who you think got the best player, I just want to know exactly did the 76ers get the best from Marco Fultz? Did Sacramento get the best steal with De'Aaron Fox? Seriously, who got the best player? Josh, who do you think? Who drafted the best player? Who got the biggest help tonight?
Yeah, that's what I'd rather answer almost. Not like who got the best player, because we already answered that almost, I feel like. Or you have, anyway. You've already answered.
I'll tell you who got the best player tonight.
Let's let you answer, and I'll tell you
De'Aaron
mine.
Fox with the Sacramento Kings.
Underestimated most.
They got the best player tonight.
Best player.
I'm telling you guys, when the 2017-18 season starts, you're going to see a guy destroy the basket, destroy the shot on the NBA. Lonzo Ball, he's going to be a frustrating player to watch for the Lakers. But Josh, who you got?
You know what? I don't want to choose the same player as much as, you know what, I almost do believe it is going to be De'Aaron Fox. I'm going to choose Lonzo Ball just because the fact that I am a Lakers fan and I'm easily one of the biggest around. So I'm going to just choose who we chose.
LA got the best
So
help?
yeah, of course we did. We know we have the best people in office as Magic Johnson and Kobe probably in his ears. We know who we're doing. We didn't choose Lonzo. We didn't choose De'Aaron Fox for a reason. So bam, we chose Lonzo Ball.
Jordan, who you got?
Lakers got the best player tonight. They got Lonzo Ball. In my opinion, he was probably the best overall around player in the draft.
Yeah.
But, like I said before, you take his dad in your ear. And like you said, Lonzo Ball's dad, earlier in the year, when Kobe was trying to offer help to younger kids. We don't need Kobe's help. We don't need Kobe's help.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Kobe needs to be out of my son's ear. My son's better than Steph Curry. It's just stuff like that.
Very disrespectful.
If LeVar Ball was the hell out of his son's ear, was out of the media limelight that he wants to be in, and he wants to be this superstar that he never was, if he would get the hell out of his son's ear, let his son do his thing, play ball, the Lakers have the best pick in the draft. Hands down, in my opinion. But if he's going to stick in his ear, it's going to be nothing but trouble. It's going to be nothing but trouble for LA. I know y'all say Showtime, this and that, big city, you know, in the light, shining bright in the light, whatever. New York Knicks, same thing. It's just going to be, he's going to be another troubled player that has daddy in his ear the entire time. And that's not what the Lakers want. They want Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson in his ear, not LeVar Ball, who thinks he's better than Michael Jordan, who can't score 4 points in a pickup game with guys at the YMCA. So
love it.
I mean, it's ridiculous to the point that he's brought this to, and it's embarrassing, and I can't believe the Suns not just told him to shut the hell up and leave him alone. So, but Lakers got the best player tonight.
The Lakers.
Hopefully we get Paul George next. Just saying.
The Lakers are going to be good, man. It's a good future for the Lakers. I mean, I think that the Lakers got the second best, Lonzo Ball. I think it should have been De'Aaron, then Lonzo. But guys, thank you for being on the show, Jordan. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man. You've been on a lot this season of Off the Cuff. I appreciate it.
This season, I've actually been on a lot.
Yeah, you've been on a lot.
Since the start of 2017, I've been on a good amount of shows this year.
Yeah. I keep track of all of it. I have a sheet that has all of our the episodes, how many we've all been on.
I don't know if you know what episode or not, but people need to check out the casino episode. Fun episode.
Yeah,
we were at the
great
casino.
episode.
We had a good night that night.
It was called Turning 29 is what the episode's called. If you want to check that
Turning
out.
29 back in January.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Yeah.
One of our funnest episodes I think we've ever done.
That was one of my favorite episodes, yes, of all time. Yeah, that is me, you, Josh, Chad, John Stanley.
John Stanley.
Was that it?
And
I feel like we're missing somebody.
Zach wasn't there.
I feel like we're missing somebody too.
I feel like we're missing somebody, but I think that was it.
No, that was it. We had 5 of them.
That was that makes me want to listen to the show. That was a good episode. That was a good episode. Listen to that. Josh, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me as always.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. You've been on a lot as always.
It's been enjoyable as always. Thanks for adding your always.
But before we go, man, I just want to say that Hey Kentucky from WLEX had some auditions for a new co-host. Josh, off the cuffs, Josh Bryant, decided to go try out for it, man. Did you get to meet Matt? What did you think of him?
No, I didn't get to meet Matt. I just heard him, passing. He interviewed every person around me. Not him, but the TV station he works for did.
Yeah.
And it was a fun competition. I was one of the better dressed, and I was one of the ones with the resume.
You took him a resume?
Yeah, one of the very few. I didn't take him a resume.
Did you wear a suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't wear a tie, but I wore a suit.
Okay.
I should have went with you.
Yeah.
50 to 100 people probably dressed up at the most. There was 200 people there, and probably, 25 people had a resume. 50. From what I saw at the most. I guess I spoke a little fast and probably was too intimidating for Matt. Or no, I'm kidding. I think part of it was that maybe I said all the things that Matt would have agreed with. I spoke maybe similar to Matt, as a UK fan, and I also said. So I think that might have.
You wouldn't have enjoyed working for Matt Jones. He's not an enjoyable person to work for.
Oh, I could argue with his ass all day.
They want somebody who disagrees.
That would be
with
easy.
him to bring ratings in, and a very outgoing character, which I am. But I don't know if I wasn't maybe.
Matt said he would do this show, and then he completely turned me down. Like he completely.
I remember
ignored it.
that.
Oh, if you get Matt Jones on your show, I need to be here because I want to personally bury Matt Jones. I love him to death. I love KSR.
Yeah, KSR is
but
nice.
it would be fun. I think Matt Jones would appreciate that more to have somebody that's just going to bury him because I would love to bury Matt Jones.
What's the one thing you'd like to say to him?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start with Matt Jones. He's just Matt Jones.
I had no idea that he had
Matt
this.
Jones has just got so
vendetta.
cocky and stuff with it. And I still think Matt Jones still lacks some intelligence in some things that I could prove him wrong on, and I can go blow for blow with Matt Jones. But with this KSR, Matt Jones doesn't know about football.
Right.
Matt Jones don't know about no football.
No.
His writers do his football for him,
Yes.
and Matt Jones just talks to Jared Lorenzen sitting next to him about football.
Yes.
I can bury Matt Jones on some Kentucky football, on NFL football, whatever Matt Jones wants to race in football.
Yes.
But he would be a fun person. I would love to talk to Matt Jones. He's a very good person, but I think me and him would also have a lot of disagreements.
I would have him on. Don't get me wrong. I would have him on the show because it would be good for the show. I think people would listen. He's got a humongous, enormous following, so it would be good for the show.
Hey, tag him in this episode on the Facebook page on
Say, would you dare?
Yeah.
everything, and then we need Matt Jones here to have a little bit of argumentation and just let's go with Matt Jones and see what Matt Jones
He'll
really
bring
does.
ratings.
It would be. It really would be. I mean, I think so.
I mean, Matt Jones did go to Duke. I've been Kentucky blue blood all my life. Matt
Yeah.
Jones went to Duke.
He did.
Wow.
He never cheered for Duke, though. You got to hand it to him.
So
there.
he says.
I don't think he did.
You were there with him hanging out?
Yeah.
Wow.
We go way back. We go back like car seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Confused. Thought y'all weren't cool.
Thank you for listening to the show. I'm Adam Banks. It's been a good episode of Off the Cuff. 2017 NBA Draft. This is one for the books, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Not a rap. On the race, but not a rap. On the race, but not a rap.